You are watching The Female Show with Nana Adjoa Sifa. This is The Female Show, the show that nails the exceptional stories of females in the agribusiness and food industry. You are watching The Female Show with Nana Adjoa Sifa.
Hello and welcome to The Female Show. I say it's the only show in the world now that mails the exceptional stories of amazing women in the agribusiness sector. Today's edition is so special. You know why? Because we are not having a woman. And today is the International Women's Day, which means we're celebrating women. So the theme for this year's IWD is Embrace Equity. And guess who we have here to celebrate women with us? I have three amazing men who work in the food and agribusiness industry from different continents. So we have Graham Valley, we have Kafik from Tracy Foundation, and we have Divine from Climate Change Agriculture. So I will start with Kafik. Hello, Kafik.
Hello, Nana. Hello,
How
everyone.
are you doing?
I'm good. It's great to meet you all on this International Women's Day.
Okay, so happy International Women's Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, happy International Women's Day to you. Yes.
So you're live on Richmond Media. If you're watching us now, you are live on Richmond Media. You are listening to us live on Richmond Radio. We are live on YouTube channel. We are also live on Facebook. If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe it right away. If you have not yet followed us on Facebook, please do that now, because we are going to talk about women and men are going to do this. We believe that women have a crucial role to play in shaping the future of agribusiness. So our mission here today is to provide you with the tools and resources you need to succeed. Okay, and we have men who are going to help us do that. Kafik, welcome again.
Thank you.
So tell me about Srishti Foundation.
Yeah. Thank you, Nana. It's a great opportunity for me to share about the Srishti and my life journey. So I'm the founder and director of Srishti Foundation, mainly working for the people with intellectual and developmental disability. And we are using the agriculture as the tool to empowering them. And mainly we working with the youth with intellectual disability living in rural village, and we train in natural farming, learn skills, and become independent in their life. And both and women, they're learning the agriculture and the farm-based businesses, including the dairy farm, chicken farm, vegetable garden, and involving in the farm activity and earn income and lead a dignified life. And we have a 10-acre farm where we are all living. We grow our own food, and then we sell the farm product, and that generates income, and that gives the independent life for the people with the disability. And we are located in a small rural village in India.
Wow. This is amazing. So you do all these things is it for free? I mean, are you providing all these skills, all these inputs, all these resources for free?
Yes.
Wow. That is amazing. And we've seen such things going on. We've seen such foundation coming up. We've seen people doing similar things. So how different is Srishti Foundation from others, especially in India and in Africa? I know that you have friends and colleagues in Africa, including me.
Sure. Of course. Yeah. So basically, what when you think about the people with the disability, most of the people they think about the charity, they may need some support and some caregiving. It's some therapy, but how long actually When they were kids, of course, they need special education, they need some therapy, they need some medical attention. But once they become an adult, they need real role to play in this community. And especially when the people with intellectual disability, it's very hard for them to find any kind of job in the society. That made me to think what kind of job they can do well. And of course, you can also imagine a person who are with the disability either ended in any institutional care or ended in their with the family support, and we get the food, shelter, and do nothing. And imagine if you have the food and shelter and do nothing in your life, you get frustrated. Naturally, that happened to them also, and they show their frustration in a violence and aggressive. And what happened? The parents are they in the institutional care. They bring them to the hospital, and then they met the psychiatrist, and psychiatrist prescribed a lot of medicines to them. And their life, having food, having medicine, and sleep. That's the whole life. That made me to think this is not the right way. We need to find the right way, life to them. Then when I was looking for the right job, right according to their skill, I found farming is one of the sectors somehow matched with their skill. And I tried with a small little garden where they planted the seed, and when they see the first leaf coming out of from the ground, and how they are so excited, and that changed their whole behavior. When the plants grow, and then they harvested their first vegetable from their own plant, and they bring them to the kitchen, and they got the role to play, and they feel very productive, and they feel the first time in their life they felt something I have done, and that changed their whole behavior. That made me to think, if it is working, why don't we create a model village, a community where the people where they can live, learn, work, generate income, and lead a dignified life. That way the whole Srishti village is formed.
This is nice, isn't it? It's so nice. So it means when people come there, they get skills, and not only skills, they get some food, and they become happy because they have met people, they have gotten some skills. This is so. This is more than a therapy, isn't it?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
many of them there were abandoned. Some of them were locked in a room for many years. Some of them were tied in the rope. And it's people from the various background they come together, and now they have a mission. They have a mission to do every day. Get up in the early morning, taking care of their animals, taking care of their plants, watering the plants, harvesting, and you have some purpose to do in your life. And the beauty is agriculture is amazing. Nature is it's incredible, incredible. It heals the people, and it gives meaning to the people. And of
Mm.
course, the nature is also the therapeutic one. Whether you don't need to be a disabled, and anyone who touch the soil, anyone who see the beautiful flower, anyone see the vegetable which is we planted and you harvested from your own, I mean, the plant, it gives so much meaning to you. Yeah, that's give them a lot of purpose in their life, meaningful to their life, that change their whole life entirely. Yes.
Wow. So you said agriculture is beautiful. I mean, I like the energy and the passion that you're describing this. How beautiful it is. How can you show more? I mean, throw more light on this. How beautiful is agriculture?
Yeah. So imagine our day started the fight in the morning, and then people divided into the group, and we can having a gathering, and then they just divide where the work, which farm having the more work, and people go to the dairy farm, chicken farm, vegetable garden, fruit forest, and they have the different kind of responsibility in the morning. And then imagine you can go to the farm and you can harvest the vegetable, harvest the fruits from your farm, and bring into your kitchen, and you can cook for the community, and you can have the fresh vegetable from your own farm, which is harvested by which you planted by you. And it's so when you associate it with the more with the nature, more with the people, more with the animal, you don't need anything else in your life. And many of the people who were taking a lot of medicine to control their behavior, control their hyperactivity, at one point they stopped to take any more medicines, And because they are physically, some of the people, they were struggling to sleep even the night. But after getting involved with the work in the farm from the morning to evening, and naturally they fall in sleep. They don't need any more medicine. They start to take any medication. That way, the nature really heal them and then giving meaning to them.
This
And
is go
yeah,
on.
the beauty is after the few years they were in the farm, they get prepared enough. They can leave our Susti community and get job and lead their independent life. That is the ultimate vision of Susti, and that's already happening.
So it means that agriculture in its own way can change the life of a person. So whether you are disabled or you are able or whoever, agriculture can change your life because it's a culture, it's the way we live, isn't it?
Exactly, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah. So we have seen so many women in this sector. I know
yeah,
of India. I also know of many countries in Africa where we have lots of women in the sector. Unfortunately for us women, we are not able to climb the ladder. So we have women doing their small things, their corner, doing little things. You cannot talk about 100, for example, in my country, you cannot talk about 100 women with large commercial farms. No, but then you can talk about 1 million women farmers in Ghana. What do you think are some of the challenges? Today being
yeah.
International Women's Day, what do you think are some of the challenges that women face, women, especially women-led agribusinesses and farms?
Yeah. So it is not only challenges in agribusiness or in the farm related work, but I see the challenges in every women entrepreneur they're facing. And especially when we very specifically you see in agriculture business, the property is the biggest thing, and not women holding the property rights. Most of the property is belongs to the men. Obviously the women, they do not have rights to have the property. I mean, legally they can, but culturally the property is mostly in the men name, and men one who decide what to do it. That I see is the biggest challenge. And also the even the women, they are involving in production, processing, packaging, and everywhere. But men who dominate, who decide what to do it, and that's happening at least from my country or from the villages where I belongs to. And you can see the women always doing the work, but ultimately the men who take all the credit. That's what I see. Even you can also visualize the men who use the tractor, the big machinery, and they plow the land and everything. And women want to always start their work earlier and end the work at the later in the evening. But men who come in the few hours in the land, but who take all the credit. Unfortunately, that I see, this is not fair. This is not fair, actually. But that's even it happening even today. And but that the people are not considering the women role. Actually, they always see the what men's playing the major role, but women who is doing the most of the work. That's I see the biggest challenge. The culturally, women need to be empowered. I think the acceptance in all levels. Actually, the people has to look at them as the big, powerful person or the human being. They can able to achieve lot. I think it's happening now. Already, I see some of my friends who are very successful in agri businesses, actually, but they are still majority of the people, they are facing the challenges, and also women having the biggest role in the family. They have to look after the kids, look, cooking, taking care of the household thing. Women play multiple roles. Sometimes I see, oh my God, where they got all this energy. And that is I see as the biggest challenge. That's one of the
You come here
reason
again, ma.
they cannot able to
Don't
reach
come here
the,
again.
yeah, what I see, the biggest challenge there. Yeah.
Wow, wow. So you have been able, and I'm so happy because you're a man, okay? And you've been
Mhm.
able to identify some of these challenges, the challenges women face, which is really important. I'm just clapping for you here. So what do
Thank
you
you.
think can be the solution? How can we address these challenges?
I think the women has to come forward. They should not depend on anybody. That is my at least I see, because most of the time the people are women. They're depending on men or husband or the father or the brother. I think why you are depending? Just come out and start your do it and dream big and come out from this kind of little nest and then just fly out from the nest and you can do the big wonder in the of course to the whole world. But there is all of lot of restriction, and culturally is one of the challenge I see. And I think I'm not sure about in Africa, but in the male dominant society, always men play the major role. I think that is slowly, it's the those is breakdown now, and women are coming out of from those chain. And we also need a good role models where the women can see the like a stars, in the sky. I I can be reach that level, but we have a very few role models are there, and some of the women it's difficult for them to dream in such a big places they can achieve it, because the generation women always suppressed and play a very small roles in the family or in the community, and they less very less opportunity for them to take any decisions in the community. But I think to overcome for that, they need a role models. If you show them a big good role models in every places, that gives a lot of motivation for them, and it's already happening. I see that.
So don't be. So this is from Kafik. Don't be in your own nest. You have to come out. Don't depend on anybody. Just come
Sure.
out. And then also we need to get role models. I believe in that so much. I really believe in that because if you're seeing somebody, you always want to be like that person. So it's really a good thing, and they can actually inspire and encourage you. So I take this opportunity to also invite women. If you're watching me and you're a successful woman and you think you're a mentor, you can mentor a young woman, you can be a role model to a young man, please go ahead and reach out to that young woman. All right, thank you very much, Kathy. So let's move on. I am just loving the story. I'm being inspired already. So today is International Women's Day, and we are celebrating it here on Richmond Media. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, our YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe. You can also go to Facebook and follow us. We are live on Richmond Radio in London. And yes, we are celebrating IWD with the theme Embrace Equity. So we have, I have. So I have Kafik, I have three gentlemen here, and I am starting with Kafik all the way from India. We are talking about what he has done to bridge that gap. Okay, he has been able to do so many things for women with his foundation called Srishti Foundation. We are still talking, we are still having chat. So join us and follow the journey with us. So Kafik, I call you Srishti.
Of course.
Okay, so we've talked about challenges. We've talked about what women go through and the need for them to come out of the nest. I love the phrase you use, the need for them to get role models. So what are some of the success stories you have seen or you have heard or you have come up with yourself? What are some of the success stories you can remember or you want to share with us?
So, so some of the very inspiring women are in my life actually. So the people from the different ages with the different sectors, and especially one of the agri-based sector. Her name is Parvati, and she's living in. She's from the background of the herbal medicine. family,
Oh,
the people who produced a lot of herbs actually. So from the childhood onwards, she heard about all the herbs. She get practiced with the herbs, and then it's become her life. And she started to grow her own herbal plants and farm, and she started to process it, and she started to sell it. But that's not a story. What she did, she called all the women from the villages, and she started to
wow.
taught them.
Wow.
These are the plants which is available in our villages,
Mm.
and it's growing wildly, and it's possible for you to process it and make it as a medicines, and you can sell it, and it's become an income for you, and you are just ideally sitting at home actually, and that will lead people, and they collectively, women collective joined together from the villages, and all the women started to identify the herbal plants from the villages, and then they got a land from the village, and they started to grow the herbal plants, and then they started to process it, and then they have a shop now, they sell it, and every woman getting salary, and there is an income for the family, and more than that, they're representing various forums, they're traveling, marketing, they are talking about their project, and you see, as I said, they come out from the nest, and once you have that income, and it's completely from your effort, and you will get so much confidence about your life.
Yeah.
It gives so much meaning to your life, and
Yeah.
once you have the confidence, you don't need to much depend on your husband or your family, and you can decide what you want to do with in your life, and you can support your kids, and
Yeah.
you don't need to feel inferior. And the one of the very interesting learning in my personal life actually, if I ask you who are you, what do you say, Nana?
Oh, you're asking me.
Yes.
You tell me.
so
Maybe I
so
have
when you,
lost identity, so I can't even answer.
yeah, sure, of course.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, the very important thing is for anybody, for any part of the world, the role you play to the community. That's very important, actually. That gives a lot of dignity and respect to you. And if you do not have a proper role or something which like a teacher, an engineer, a doctor, or a farmer, or a social worker, or whoever it is, but the role is so important. But majority of the people who are living in the rural villages, they may not get that kind of role actually. Just homemaker, even though they play so many roles, but they don't get the any a valid role to play in the community. But these women, they become a herbal uh, producers, the herbal medicines producers actually, they became like a women collective. That role brought them a lot of dignity, respect, among the family, among their community, among the villages, and even they travel abroad in different places, and that gives so much respect to those women. So
Hmm.
what I learned is, if you play a valid role, you don't need to wait for anything. The respect and dignity, everything come to you naturally.
So you don't need any validation from anybody
No, not
at all.
necessary. Yeah.
This is lovely. If you just join us, you're listening to Kafik on this International Women's Day. Kafik is the founder of Street Tea Foundation in India, and we're talking about how women or men can embrace equity in the food and agribusiness industry. And he is using his personal life, he is using his organization, and he's sharing with us what he has seen and heard. Kafik, so now finally, let's go to the best practices. So we have seen the stories, the success stories, the challenges. Now, best practices. Um, is so yeah, let me just how can women led agribusinesses practice I was going to repeat that word again. Repeat that word. But how can we have best practices in our industries? Because, like he said, we should come out. All right, we don't need to depend on anybody. So we need to be able to take some measures in place. How can we have some best practices in our businesses?
So the first step is just start. You don't wait for anything. The best moment to start any business is now. You should not wait, because many times people think, I'm not studied enough. I don't have any qualification. I don't have any money. I'm not good enough. I'm not skilled enough to start anything. But I'm telling you, start now. Dream big. Once you started your business, then you learn. If you want to learn swimming, you need to jump into the water.
You don't sit there and start doing the calculations and taking the risk, just jump into the water.
That's the only way. So my personal learning is, if you want to be successful, if you want to run your business, if you want into the any sector, of course we are more talking about the agri business and any kind of sector. The best thing is just start. Then once you started, of course the challenges are there, from the various angle, from the family, from the society, from the culture, and there are so many challenges. But once you started, then you will find the way, and people find you, and then that lead to the next level, and you will get the funds for to initiate to the next level. But until you start the business, you may not see any direction at all. It's like a keeping the like a torchlight or a candle in your hand. Actually, maybe the candle or a torchlight may not give the longer vision. You may not see what's there and apart from a certain meters, but you can see at least a certain steps. You can move forward. Once you keep on moving, the light also move further. Actually, that is the way you need to start immediately now. Actually, so you need to brave enough to start it. Once you start it, automatically the many doors will open. So my simple, my personal experience, what I will say to the people, just start.
Start. Wow. Wow. So, viewers and listeners, just start. This is from Kafik from Srishti Foundation in India. So just start. Okay. Don't wait for any validation. Don't wait for any risk assessment. Just start. Okay. Kafik, so your final words to your viewers and our listeners.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nana. But this is a great initiative. I'm so happy to be part of this amazing talk, and especially for this International Women's Day. And I'm so proud of to be part of this talk. And wish you all a very happy Women's Day. And be strong, be powerful, and bring our world into the next level, in a positive level. And that's only women can do it.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kafik. So only women can do it. If you missed that. Okay, so thank you for joining us today as we discussed embracing equity for women in the food and agribusiness industry. It's been a privilege to hear from our inspiring guests about their experience and perspectives on the challenges and opportunities for women in the industry. And we hope this conversation has shed light on the important role that women play in driving innovation, sustainability, and profitability in the agribusiness sector. As we continue to champion diversity and inclusion, remember Christy mentioned this working with disabled people, so we should also continue to champion diversity and inclusion in this sector. Let us remember that empowering women in this sector is not only crucial for the advancement of the industry, but also for addressing global food security and promoting economic development in rural communities. We hope you've enjoyed this episode and learned something new. Please don't forget to subscribe to Reach More Media on YouTube and also on Facebook. Thank you very much for joining us. This was a special episode because today is the International Women's Day and we are celebrating women across the globe. Thank you very much and enjoy the programs ahead. Thank you and see you next week. Bye.